My name is Amani, and I think Emily is gonna find someone she's into tonight.
Hi, my name's Emily, and I think Ishika is gonna be the one to find a crush or something.
Hi, my name's Olivia, and I think Amani's gonna find the love of her life tonight.
Hi, my name is Ishika, and I think Emily is gonna find the love of her life tonight.
So everybody's talking about this weekend and the Super Bowl and all of that, but I am thinking about how I went to my first singles event in my entire life this past Saturday. And it was such a random night that I kind of want to share it. It might not be that interesting to most of you, but I just think it's kind of interesting. So I haven't hardly been single in my adult life. I was married for nearly 20 years, divorced, then very shortly after started dating, met my long-term boyfriend who I just ended things with last month, and it's been heartbreaking. And I decided this year I'm not going to date because I need to heal from so many things. But I went to the singles event just to have fun and enjoy the experience. And while there, they decided to have this like game show type of thing where 5 guys are holding balloons, and then the woman would ask questions to start eliminating the guys. Well, guess who was somehow chosen or conned into being the woman choosing me. So I was the one going and asking questions, and it was kind of chaotic because they clearly had never done this before and did not know what they were doing. So it was a little chaotic. The event coordinator ended up just like popping everybody's balloons to wrap it up because nobody cared. And even us there were just like, this is so weird. This is not working. But it was like a funny experience, funny story. We ended up meeting, like my friend and I ended up meeting other women that were there alone, and just like making friends. So there was like a group of us. I don't know, maybe like 5 to 7 of us. I don't know exactly how many, that did go out after. And actually, I was just thinking, there is a girl who did end up meeting a guy, and they ended up talking the whole night. They like went out with us afterwards, but they were kind of like doing their own little date thing. So there was success that night. They too seemed to like hit it off. So that's kind of cute. But then, my friend and I met some other single women. So like that was kind of fun too. It was just such a weird, fun experience. So I definitely am excited that we went, and I have that fun story, and just like, I don't know, like, even though I'm not looking to date, I'm looking to experience fun new things like I did Saturday. So that's what I'm looking forward to this year.
Any event is a singles event if you're a girl and you're brave and you can yap. It's kind of like how they say that you should always be looking for people to hire who are not looking for jobs. It's like the passive job seekers. The passive daters are a wonderful pool of people because you meet people who are not necessarily on the apps, and they're not necessarily spending a ton of time like at bars trying to pick up girls. So you meet some really quality guys if you actually just approach them in real life. Oh, but Lucy, I hate to approach a guy in real life. I really want someone who's brave and manly and will approach me. Okay, so has that happened? And if it hasn't happened, your choices are you treat any event like a singles mixer and talk to people you think are cute in real life, or you get back on Hinge and you lock in for another 9 months of mediocre dates. The choice is yours.
Last night I had someone tell me they want me to have their babies. I went to a singles only event in Atlanta, and it's safe to say I don't need to go back. So let me give you a rundown of the night. Actual dating event itself was only fun because I was there with my friends. Like, we were kikiing the whole night. Me and my friends were at the photo booth, taking shots on the dance floor. I did talk to this one guy for a couple minutes, but it didn't go anywhere. But like, I kind of had to make the first step in the conversation, which I'm realizing men don't like to make the first move. One of the girls I went with had to wink woman for my other friend and be like, oh, my friend over there thinks you're cute. And the guy goes, well, why doesn't she come over here? Why don't you go over there and talk to her? What? Everyone wants to be the girl who's gonna be the man. Anyway, so we leave there after like 2 hours, and then we go to this like strip of bars. I ended up with a group of guys that my friend knew, which was honestly, that was more the vibe. We weren't on any like romantic cutesy vibe either. Like, they were just a good time. And that's where I run into the man who said he wants me to have his children. And like, it wasn't giving like, let's start a family. It was more so giving like, I'm scared. He just wasn't my type. I mean, he was a fun time, but like, not my vibe. In terms of finding a romantic connection, Valentine's Day was a bust for me, but I had a good time with my friends, so that's all that matters.
Just got out of my
Friday night shift. Today was freaking hectic. But since I'm single and there's nobody waiting for me at home, I'm going to go to the club tonight. And this is pre-Valentine's Day. It's currently the 13th, February 13th. I don't have a change of clothes. I only have a fresh pair of socks to change into, but I'm hoping they won't discriminate me for what I got on. I meant to bring extra shoes, but ADHD me, obviously, I was rushing out the door. I was late to my shift, as always, with all my ADHD drinks. So I couldn't get shoes. So hopefully they'll accept some non-slip Crocs. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the DJ tonight is going to be DJ Lex. And she seems very women forward, woman centered. So we're going to go check her out. It's going to be at 10:15 Folsom, and this is what the outside's looking like. So I'm on my way to get in line. These are the Crocs in question.
That she needs some space and she wanna leave me alone. Talking to you.
Don't y'all just can't wait yet. Do it crazy. Everything look like a post. Close to me, he can run around, he can booty like groceries. You move that girl, you lift up my heart. I'm in it, I'ma give you what you need, yeah.
Okay, it's 1 a.m. and I got out. I used my little cotton sheets as my earplugs tonight. Y'all protect your ears. You don't want to get tinnitus, okay? Yeah, it's 1 a.m. right now, and I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it till the end. I'm tired. I want to go home and sleep. I'm low-key running to the car because it feels unsafe.
Come with me to a speed dating event at Strip Mall. I know I do singles events, but I do like to go to different singles events from time to time. So I saw this one. I love Strip Mall. I thought I would do it. When I got there was a really big line to check in. There were a lot more people there than I thought, but that's okay. You get a drink ticket, which is great, and then you get a number, and then the girls get to take a seat at like a numbered spot, and then the guys would rotate around, and then you basically just start doing the speed dating. Like I said, there was a lot of people. I think there was at least 20 men and 20 women, and so the rounds were pretty short. They were 3 minutes, and yeah, you basically, I mean, it's speed dating. You get through the basics. What's your name? Where are you from? Etc. They gave you some conversation cards, some like questions to ask if you got stuck. I didn't really need to use them because the rounds were pretty short that you didn't need it, but some people did. So it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of interesting like mix of people there. There were actually some people there that I knew from my events, so that was kind of funny, but overall very fun. They had time after the speed dating to like mix and mingle and hang out, so that was nice. You could have more time with people that you maybe didn't get the chance to talk to or, you know, talk more with, so that was great. A great way to connect after the fact rather than filling out a form and waiting for so long to hear back from somebody. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
So one thing you notice when you have a dating event that draws like 90% women and almost no men is, it's not really, oh no, that's chaos, it's an epidemic. No, that's a market correction. And what makes this significant is that men didn't even coordinate it, right? You have a lot of men and you know, you have these groups like, Are We Dating the Same Man? The T app, which is, I don't know if that's defunct, that's probably no more. You didn't have a group chat. You have nobody boycotting. You didn't have nobody jumping on and saying, I ain't going. You just had men, thousands of individual men independently doing a cost benefit analysis. Am I going to get a return on my investment? And arriving at the same conclusion, right? It's not worth it. When you have a behavior that is coming to the forefront consistently across a large population, against a large demographic of people without them coordinating, there is an underlying condition that's producing it naturally. Modern women don't seem to understand this. You're doing something that's causing the man not to want to approach you, not to want to come out, not to want to be around you. The stuff that y'all are putting out on Instagram and stuff like that, men have absorbed that for years and years, like decades at this point, right? Either me being here is taken for granted or I'm going to be mocked, right? And at some point in time, enough of them just stop showing up. And so now you're like, where are the men at? Why don't men come out, right? And you do have some of these singles events where men will still try to come out, and I don't really hate them for doing that. But in a lot of events, you see, oh, well, you know, if that's going to be the case, I ain't going to be there.
There's no single men in my vicinity. What do I do? I made a video that went semi-viral, and it was telling the story of a case study, a close girlfriend of mine, and my own experience about how we decided to just be out there, bold, and ask the question of if our, at the time, love interests liked us, and now they turned out to be our husbands. So I'm fine tooth and said, okay, but the problem is there's no one in my vicinity for me to even spark a combo with, and I refuse using dating apps. So what now? This is fair. I get it. Everybody has boundaries about what they're willing to use and what they're not willing to use. The simple answer is really this: travel. Like, I think sometimes we think that doing things out of our comfort zone is going to make us look desperate. Nobody has to know that the reason or one of the reasons why you're going around is so that you can meet new people. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing taboo with that. It's completely normal, especially if you're in your adult ages. You've already got your career. You've got your finances in order. You got a lot of your life in order, and you're just not meeting anyone. Go out, travel. If you're really thinking that there's nobody in your vicinity, like, put yourself out there. And sometimes we think that there's nobody in our vicinity, because I was also that way. I literally was just like, I remember one day in my shower, I was crying. I was like, Jesus, really and truly, there's no one. Like, all of these guys who are in my vicinity, in my church circle, literally a lot of them are my friends, and I just don't see life with them. Who really could it be? Like, I don't think that this person even exists. All the while, my husband was literally a couple kilometers away from me. And he was somebody that I had in my distance, in my vicinity the whole entire time. But the thing was, I never considered him, especially at the time that I had originally met him and like became acquaintances with him. He just wasn't my type. But then we became friends, and I started to realize and know things deeper about him, about his character. I saw him in a different light, and things completely changed. So there's two things. It's really go out, go to the places where other people are, network, get to know them, become friends, just be open. And the other thing is really pray. Lord, maybe there is somebody here, but I'm just not seeing them. Maybe it's not the right time for me to be seeing them. So Lord, when the right time is, I want you to open the scales. I want you to remove the scales. I want you to open the eyes of that person so that they can see me, and open my eyes so that I can recognize them. That's literally what I would say. And I know because it's literally worked for me. Mwah, love you.
I don't know what is going on with men, but like one of the guys told me that, like, I asked him what his job was, and he was like, I'm a rabbit breeder. Ha ha ha. Like, as a joke, like that was supposed to be funny that he breeds rabbits. Like, where's the funny joke, bro? I did give my number out to a woman. So there that is. The women that I was like hanging out with, they were like, can we get your number? We'd like to hang out. I was like, yeah, sure. So there you go. I made some female friends.
Okay, so I recently went to a singles event, and it was 90% women. And I was wondering, like, where's all the dudes? I don't know, but they're not there. And that's cool, not like I care.
Last year, I saw so many Black women try to solve a problem in dating by starting to host events in person, trying to create third spaces to facilitate dating like offline. And you know what would happen every single time? The men were not signing up. They would be selling tickets to speed dating, and they would always end up with men.
If I'm going to be honest about this situation, the type of man that is able to get the woman that he wants and the type of women that are able to get the men that they want don't go to these type of events. Like, if women who are able to get the men that they desire, the men that they want to be with, they don't go to these speed dates, right? The men that are able to get women who are, who can approach women, and those women give them that energy, they're not going to these. Right? Let's just leave that as that. And a lot of the women who go to these single events already have a pre-notion of what they want. Period. Point blank, period. And a lot of them are chasing after the exact same type of person. All right? And for a regular dude like myself, regular dude when you go into these environments, you're not, your personality, your characteristics, the things that make you a dope person, you're not able to really show that off in these type of speed dating environments. So why would I go? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I go to a place where it's like I'm trying to date somebody, but you don't even get the chance to really see me? You only have 2 minutes to talk or 5 minutes to talk, and then we're next on to, you don't see a point into doing so. And a lot of the times the women that are there are women that other men probably don't want to deal with. And a lot of those dudes have chosen to say, hey, instead of me trying to deal and go and spend my money, my energy, put on good cologne, good outfit, good everything, and come out to the situation, I'd rather just save my energy and just be at home playing on a game, being on TikTok, doing other stuff that I find more productive than going to a dating environment that is not conducive to finding what I'm looking for. That's just what it is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Why would I go into a dating environment where as soon as I sit down, the person look me head and toe and say, hey, you don't look like you make 6 figures, so you don't need to even talk. Let's just, you know what I'm saying, mind our business and wait until the time right now. Why would you go to that? Why would you go to that? Regular dudes are not the ones being looked for in those type of environments. And the dude that they want in those environments are never going to go to those environments. Like, share, comment.
At every singles event, it's all women.
That's exactly
I don't want to do them anymore because it's so hard to get men to sign up. And I had one a few weeks ago, and one of the guys was like, please do this again. This was awesome. I'm like, I will do it again if you promise to like get friends to come. Like, it's so hard to get guys to sign up. And he's like, no, why would I want more competition?
Yeah. But why? Like, I guess both perspectives. Like, what do you think? But also as a guy. So if you told me when I was 27, hey, there's a singles event where there's going to be 20 to 25 really cool women, I'd be like, yeah, like that's sick. Like, why would I not go? I go to the bar to meet the single woman. Yeah. Why wouldn't I go to the singles event where they actually want to meet me too? Yeah. But as guys, why did we never go to them?
Yeah, doesn't it take away like the thing of rejection? Like,
well, my perspective was this. I feel like guys are super sensitive to get rejected. And when you go to a singles event, there's an expectation that you should hook up or you should like meet somebody. Yeah. And if you don't, it's like, oh, well, you got rejected. And maybe if you hit on somebody there and they don't like you, it's very in your face. Yeah. Whereas if you get rejected at a bar, it's so like sugar coated and it's so like
kind of disappear.
You can disappear or like just pretend like something happened. You could hide.
I'll never go home, don't sleep, don't eat, just do it on repeat. Keep running in the club, yeah, I'm 365 party girl. Should we do a little tea? Should we have a little lime on and go real wild when I'm meet me in the bathroom with you? 365 party girl. French trying to go for with the residue. Have that look hot when I'm. No, I really don't stop when I'm gonna jump.
No, so like I'm actually having a crisis right now. And it's the fact that my friends are getting boyfriends. And like obviously I'm happy for them. Like I want them to have the world. And like if a man is treating them right and like deserving of that title, then like I will support that. But now I'm like losing my girls that I go out with. And now I'm like a lone wolf. Like they're having kids or they're getting boyfriends or that's actually it right now. But and this is no hate to them. Like I love you all, but like I'm kind of like freaking out. Who is going to go out with me? Because I have all these single guy friends that like I'm not dating any of them and I can't keep going out with them. That doesn't exactly work in my favor. So where are my girls at?
And honestly, the thing that gets me is you hear these women talking about, I'm going to do this, and why is no man in my vicinity? Why is no man showing up to a singles event? Why are they not going? And they're asking that question, but then they're not asking a deeper question, like, why are they not coming? Like, we see the women are showing up, but there's no men. Like, why are the men not actually showing up? What makes women want to show up and not men? And it just leads to, more chaos, more frustration. But once again, women didn't stop and say, wait, how come men aren't coming? How come a man is not coming? Like that question alone tells you something. When you stop asking why somebody left and just get mad that they're gone, you've already missed the whole entire point. Like, why did they leave? Oh, well, you just not showing up. You sassy, you gay. Well, why did he leave in the first place? Like, what made him leave?
What's the biggest difference between guys in their 20s and in their 30s? Guys in their 20s still believe in love. You can see this ray of sunshine in their eyes that they're still able to have a crush. Men in their 30s, they're dead inside.
Oh joy, another video of another woman that just doesn't get it. I'll tell you exactly why it all changes for men when they reach a certain age. Because at some point in time when they are that young, of course they're going to have hope. They believe there's some type of faith in humanity when it comes to women and when it comes to the dating world because of what they strive for. However, due to the years of experience of being used, abused, treated like, and also being cheated on, being unappreciated and taken for granted left to right, being stressed out all the time because nothing they do is ever good enough, having to experience that everything they built for someone gets all just taken away, you know? And some of you women act so damn oblivious and stupid thinking that, you know, oh, why do men suddenly end up dead inside? All of what I just said is years of them experiencing this. And it's a lot more common than you think. And then y'all assume that men just hate women. No, they're just tired. They're tired and they rather have some peace, some quiet. Sometimes they prefer to be alone for that reason.
Why are they so surprised men have walls up? They helped build every brick.
So I went on a Hinge date on Saturday, and it was fine. Like, I thought it went well. We had good convo. We hung out for like 2.5 hours. He's already unmatched me on Hinge. Like, it hasn't even been a week. How quickly did he unmatch me? Huh? That's crazy. Like, I'm offended. What did I say? I don't even know what to say. I'm torn between offended and just like mind blown. Maybe it was him. Maybe it was something he felt like, wow.
Wonder what kind of red flag she was wildly waving in the air.
Online dating is actually super unfair for men compared to women. Men always have to go into a relationship and prove their worth to be dateable. Men have to go in and say that they either earn a lot of money or they know a lot of things or they have a lot of skills or something that they've really well built. Men have to provide value in order to be desirable by any woman. And a woman can just show up and look good and that's it. She doesn't have to prove anything. She doesn't have to have anything, own anything. She just has to look somewhat good. Any woman out there who says that dating is actually harder for women, are you sure about that? Because it's actually not.
When women say dating is hard, what they mean is sorting through their endless options is hard. It's like complaining there's too many ice cream flavors to choose from.
I'm going to a singles event for hot people only in the city tonight. Don't ask me how I got invited, because I'm not really sure. Honestly, this concept is like super dystopian, but hey, I'm here for it. If there's hot men, count me the fuck in. That dating app that I was talking about in my last post is sponsoring it. If you have an active profile on Vibes, then you get 2 free drinks. So I'm like, free drinks, hot men. Literally ask any of my friends. They'll say that my type is just like a hot douchebag guy. So this event is gonna be perfect for me. To get accepted to go to this party, you actually have to show a picture of yourself. So they basically have to like rate you and like let you in, like give you like the okay to like come to the party. Actually insane. Also I got a spray tan, so like I'm looking good, I'm feeling good. Whose dog is barking? Maybe I'll meet my husband tonight. Who knows? So then, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it is a little scary that I'm being put in a situation that like I have to talk to a guy. But I feel like when I go out, that's like not my main focus. My main focus is like hanging out with my friends and like not finding guys to talk to. This should definitely be interesting. Like for part 2.
That is what I'm here for. Come on. You came for yes, I came for the niggas. They should come out. Yeah, I'm out for them.
They were really struggling with why men are not attending these events. And I had the same question.
First, let's consider that maybe the scheduling of these events is not opportune for the type of men you're trying to attract. So make sure that's not the problem. And then I'm going to tell you another problem that I think it might actually be with the men not wanting to go to these events. It is far easier for a woman to walk into a room full of women she does not know than it is for a man to do the same thing. That's in general. But second, for the men, it's a little bit of a competitive environment because you're creating a dating specific event. And so they're going to be there with men that they don't know. That creates a level of anxiety that comes from just kind of natural forces. So I think ideally you should do a men's event first, and then the following weekend do an event with single ladies with that same group of men. I don't know. That's my thought.
Yesterday, it was so many women celebrating being single and without men. I really don't believe that most women are single because they want to be. Women are choosing themselves because men aren't stepping up to the plate to embrace marriage anymore, to embrace commitment anymore. The women I talk to want to be in relationships, but the men that they have attracted and wanted to play games, didn't want to commit. And then the men that liked them, they didn't like them. I could be wrong, but I really think men act the way they do because of women. I mean, what's there to work for? If I'm going to take you out to dinner and you're going to give it up to me the first night, I done got what I wanted. I don't have to chase. I don't have to bring nothing to the table. Of course, it's easy for me to just hit it and quit it and go on. Whereas if women would go back to making men wait, not giving it up so easy. I think this is one reason men think all women are whores, because we give it up so easy. But men that all women want, they don't want to commit because they already getting what they want out of women. They getting to sleep with you, getting you to buy them stuff, all for free. And then the women who have raised their standards and won't do those things, they can't find a man that's even on their level. So it's like a catch-22. I understand why there were so many women celebrating themselves yesterday, but I really don't think most women want to be single. They're single because the alternative is not what they would want it to be. The ones I've talked to who choose to be single are single because they have been traumatized so by the men that they have been with in their past. Men who wouldn't commit, men who played with them, men who trampled all over their feelings and emotions and who hurt them. Women don't want to live the way their grandparents lived anymore, where the women lived miserably for years and years and years, doing all the housework, having no help, not being celebrated, not being loved, not being cherished. Women don't want to live that way anymore. So I can't really blame them.
So I have to cancel the singles event that I planned to be on my farm this weekend. Y'all know I'm an event planner and I have a fish farm, and I advertised a Fishing for Love event where singles could come here and fish and have dinner and meet each other in person, not on a dating app. And 5 women RSVP'd yes, and 1 man. And even the 1 man that did RSVP did it through one of the ladies. Now, I did all of my marketing specifically towards men because I knew that the women would RSVP. I promoted the event on 45 different Facebook groups, specifically about hunting, fishing, camping, country life, and all local to my area. I know that my post reached over 12,000 people specific to the age group, the gender, and the interests that I just described. And yet, no man RSVP'd. So let's talk about why men are not RSVPing and attending these singles meet and greets. So I read something that said that men are just more spontaneous. They just want to show up. But I don't think that's true, because men have no problem buying their season tickets to a football game a year in advance, being on time for their fantasy football event, being at a 7 a.m. golf tee time. So the issue must be that they're just not interested in attending these singles meet and greets. I also read that men don't really like the pressure of meeting a woman in a formal dating experience, and they prefer meeting a woman naturally, like at a bar or a concert. But like, don't we all? Now remember, I chose an event that men love doing, and I get men here every day at my farm fishing. I chose a fishing event because as an event planner, I know that I have to always have something for men to be doing. Men don't enjoy just standing around talking like women do. So that's why I chose fishing as the predominant activity. And yet they still didn't want to come. So I would love to hear from you all as to why you think men don't attend singles events. Because all I hear is them on social media talking about how lonely they are and how they all want to meet a woman and how much they hate the apps. So what do you think?
And one thing you have to understand is that men aren't necessarily avoiding dating because they're scared or bitter. Most of these guys just tired of putting in effort, putting in money, putting in resources, and getting absolutely nothing back. Absolutely nothing back. Tired of being the one who always has to initiate. They always got to prove something to you, always got to perform for you, just like a puppet, right? And at some point, a man is just going to quietly do the math in his head again and say, once again, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's go back to the basics. What is my ROI? He's going to decide at that point in time, my peace is worth more than the headache. My peace is worth more than the bill you are trying to strap onto me. And even though y'all like to call it sassy, and oh, he's weak, man, I don't want to hear that. I don't care nothing about that. That's whatever you guys are calling weakness is not a weakness. This is a guy who finally got tired of auditioning and simping for you. When he said, yeah, man, I'll do it. What do you want me to do, man? Yeah, I'll take you here. I'll go here. And then you took that for granted. And now that man is like, oh, okay, well, let me get back to what I was doing.
Okay, so this might be one of the first comments that I completely agree with you on. Maybe like 95% agree with you on. Because I know you and we do not agree on a lot of things. I think that a singles event, now that I've gone, okay, I went because I wanted to do something that was out of my comfort zone. I went because it was something different and I wanted to experience it. But now that I've experienced it, I think you're right. The caliber and the status or class of guy that I am looking for is not going to be at a singles event. And I think that it showcased itself very well last night. I mean, it was a very mix of men and women that were at this event, but looking at the women and looking at myself, I was in a higher status than most of these women, and yes, I'm judging. You kind of have to in order to kind of gauge the room. And I don't think that this guy is going to actually text me, which is totally fine, but I don't think he is because I think Wingman associated the fact that I was really smart and intelligent, probably too pretty to be at this fucking event, and he recognized that I'm in a different class or caliber than the guy that I exchange numbers with. I don't say that egotistically. I say that as when you are in a conversation with me, if you've ever been in my lives, you will know that I'm quick-witted. I am able to finish conversations. I am able to know where you're going with the conversation before you start or stop the conversation. I'm already ahead of things. And having that quick wit, having the ability to do that kind of thing, there are people that can recognize it, and those people that can recognize it understand that that's because my brain processes things at a really quick pace. Most of the time, I'm right as well. And no, people get all bent out of shape because I say that, but 9 times out of 10, I am right. And that is irritating to a lot of men. And it's irritating because I can do that and a lot of men can't. It's not that I'm trying to outpace them. And it's not that I'm trying to say I'm smarter than you. In no way do I ever use words that would make me look like I am trying to prove something to another man. But in a conversation, it goes that way. Just because of that's who I am, that is my personality. And I'm not gonna dumb myself down to make men feel smarter or better. And so, yeah, the type of men that I need to meet are at a higher caliber. They're the men who are not going to be at singles events. I, again, enjoyed it. It was something that I had, I got to do on a Saturday night. I didn't hate it. So I may not do it again, but I had to experience it to know whether I would or would not do it again and the type of people that do join in that kind of environment or event. So yeah, no, we're not going to do it again.
It's a very wide known fact that my favorite holiday is Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day. I love love. I love seeing other people in love. And this confuses people because I am a perpetually single person. I have always been single. I have been taken for one Valentine's Day in my life. It was the worst Valentine's Day. I had to practically beg to celebrate Valentine's Day. Yeah. And then my best friend ended up planning my whole entire Valentine's Day thing for him. And then he said he did, whatever. But when you stop looking at Valentine's Day as if it's supposed to be this romantic thing between you and a partner, like, it is the most beautiful day ever. It's just so many people expressing their love to people. And I know a lot of people write Valentine's Day off as like, you should celebrate your partner every day. It's like, yeah, but this is an excuse to go big and really celebrate the people you love. And it doesn't have to be your significant other. It can be your family. It can be your friends. Like, there is so much love in the world. There is so much love in the world. Like, I can get emotional talking about it. I love Valentine's Day. Going out in public and everyone's wearing pink or red or hearts or whatever. Like, I think that's so sweet that we're all just like, hey, we acknowledge today's about love. Going out and seeing couples and being like, oh, you guys look so cute. Like, it's an excuse to give compliments to people because people are out there almost not looking for compliments, but like doing things that are very obviously like easy to compliment. I just could never be a Valentine's Day hater. It couldn't be me.
It's day 28 of me going out as an introvert in Dallas. Today's Valentine's Day, and I'm going to be going to a dating event. I'm showing up a little late because it took me a little longer to convince myself to go. But I guess I can't meet anyone new just sitting from my couch, right? So yeah, let's head out. I had to come back and change really quick because I got soaked within the first 2 minutes of walking over there. So I just got home. I stayed there for about 45 minutes. And I don't know, I'm sure those events work for some people. I don't think they're for me. Just got overwhelmed with how many people were there. I had a couple people talk to me, but just kind of wanted to get out of there. So, I don't know. Dating's tough.
I'm going to a singles event 2 days before Valentine's Day. If that tells you anything. My phone's open, my phone line, something's open. I don't know what's open, but I'm open. No. Anyway, it's gonna be fine. Here's the fit, all black, very inviting, right? Very welcoming outfit. I think, honestly, it's fine. Really, it's okay because going out of my comfort zone, going with a couple friends. Now, the odds of it being 80% women and 20% men are very high, but it's okay. It's okay because whoo! I'm sick and tired of this, really, I am. I just want to go on a date, just one. It's gonna be fine. The ticket was $7 and I get a free drink. And in this economy, that's free in my books. So, wish me luck. It's gonna be fine, really, it's gonna be just fine.
So for those of you who don't know, I run a dating events company, and it's been interesting to see what has transpired after the event. So we do like cute little coffee dates or board game nights, etc. I email people after the event, after a couple weeks, to see, hey, you matched with this person, how did it go? And of the stories that I get, it's like, I get why we're all sad about dating. Like, can we just, please, can we make it a rule that everybody follows, that we just don't ghost each other? Just say it. Hey, I didn't feel the spark. Bye. Thank you. There's some genuine people out there that really want to make a connection and they're just getting burned by other people and then they don't want to keep dating. Please.
I've seen these videos of singles events planners trying to ask the comments how to better market themselves to single straight men. And I feel like you're asking the wrong question. It's like when the Democrats lost the election in 2024, and they were like, we support G-side, we support corporate money in politics and all this other stuff that are unpopular. How do we market ourselves? You're asking the wrong question instead of actually changing. Voters aren't dumb, they're tired. Men aren't dumb. They're tired. The dating culture has changed, and so it's harder to care or try. That's just how it is right now. We're used to paying $30 to $40 a month for thousands of swipes to get ignored or ghosted. So these event planners are asking, how can we get men to pay that same money for just several hours, not a month, for exponentially fewer options to get that in person? What do you think is going to happen?
So I've been seeing these videos about men not showing up to these singles events, and I wanted to give my 2 cents. I think the main reason we have a problem with men not showing up to these events has to do with marketing. You're not marketing towards the men. The men that you want to show up to these events aren't showing up because you're not marketing towards them. You're marketing towards women. You got the women showing up. Now you need to cater it towards getting the men in there. I think all of this is a result to the club kind of like business model. If you have a club and you want to get guys to spend money, you invite a bunch of women. Let women get in free, guys will show up, spend money at the bar, pay to get in, buy girls drinks, things like that. Now this is a little bit different though. We have singles events. Women are going to these events trying to find guys. So the dynamic is literally switched. So you can't rely on the old business model of women get in and men will follow, because it's not that same dynamic. I think also you need to kind of like tailor the event to appeal more to men. You know what I'm saying? If you got a singles event and it's a flyer with pretty flowers and hearts and stuff like that, a bunch of guys not going to show up to that event because it looks like something specifically for women. It's like asking why young boys aren't getting Barbie dolls. It's not going to work.
And even listening to him, right? A lot of these modern women laugh at the whole MGTOW, the whole men going your own way thing. They laugh at it, but you have to think about what's actually being said, right? It comes to a point that men just start to choose themselves. That's literally it. They're putting their time, their money, their energy into their own lives instead of chasing something that keeps on feeling like a losing game. You know what I mean? And you can disagree, and you could talk about how some guys talk about it online, right? Oh man, he did too much, or he said too much, or he shouldn't have said that. But the core idea is a man deciding his own life is worth investing in. And I don't know how modern women are continuing to argue with that.
If I asked you out after a shift, hair tied, no makeup, would you say yes?
Something that I didn't realize until very recently was how frequently people with good intentions but don't really realize how they're coming across will infantilize you just because you're a single person over the age of 30. And here are just a couple of comments that come up so frequently, but now I'm realizing you would never say this to someone who is in a serious relationship. One, anytime I stay out past like 10 o'clock, even if I'm just getting dinner with a friend, people will say things like, oh, I could never do that anymore. Make it sound like going out late, not even going crazy, is something that they're too old and too above and they're just too tired. It just is weird. Even those small comments like, enjoy this time while you can, like, thanks too. People, especially for things like work events, will often like think they're trying to be helpful but really just subtly infantilizing you when they say things like, oh, you should bring your friend, or you should bring your mom, you should bring your sister. Why would I subject my friend to this work event? I would really only do that for a partner. And do you think that I'm just like too immature to like show up to an event by myself? Like, I can hold my own. And last, there's just this subtle energy of you still have a completely open schedule, you have so much time. People will be like, oh, you're so lucky that you have time to do that, or just assume that you can pick up an extra shift at work. It comes up as infantilizing because I have a full plate of responsibilities. And if you find this relatable or enjoyable, join me because I have plenty more.
I love getting on dating apps and seeing the same guys I've been seeing for the last 4 or so years. And then I have to realize I am one of those people.
If you are sad about being single on Valentine's Day, I want you to imagine traveling back in time to like 1800, whatever, and talking to a 14-year-old girl who was just married off into a family she's never met. She's also a virgin. And now she's with this disgusting 25, 30-year-old gross man who is so ready to impregnate her. And I want you to explain to her how you are sad that you are single on Valentine's Day. Yeah, it just like exposes how much of that feeling was manufactured by our society and by culture. And I call it big fairy tale as like a joke, a play on words like big pharma, but it's literally not a joke. Like the same way that there are these like huge food industries and huge pharmaceutical industries and huge political industries, there is a huge fairy tale industry, mostly known as Disney. And who knows who is controlling Disney, right? If Disney's the puppet, I don't know who the puppeteer is, and I don't want to know, to be honest. All I know is that I was impacted by it until I just had this moment of just being so sick and tired of being like done dirty by these loser men that I thought that I needed in my life. And then eventually I just had one last sour situationship and I just was like, I'm done. I'm out. Until a man literally worships the ground that I walk on, I'm not going to like him. Sorry. And the reason that I wholeheartedly believe for a relationship, to a heterosexual relationship to work, the man has to like the woman more, because men fundamentally hate women. Like, they literally hate us. That's why they treat us so terribly. Even if they don't know it, that doesn't mean it's not true. We all live in a patriarchal system where women are constantly seen as not human enough. And that's why we get used. So all of this to say, if you are feeling sad about being single on Valentine's Day, number one, what a goddamn privilege that feeling is. Number two, that's an honest feeling. I don't blame you for it. I'm not saying your feeling is bad or you shouldn't have it. And number three, I want you to question how much of that sadness is truly yours from your own expectations, from your own desires, and within those desires, what are the needs that you're trying to meet by having a relationship? And is that true? Because these are the questions that you need to be asking yourself to decenter romance, to decenter men, and just reclaim your own goddamn life.
Why, when a woman holds one of these singles events, men do not want to come to these things? If you want to know what a man thinks, ask a man. Why don't y'all come to these things?
Men don't like parties like that because, in general, men really don't like parties thrown by people they don't know. And imagine being a man and you get an invite to go to a party where you're supposed to meet women that you don't know, so they can look you up and down, and so they can try to decide whether they like you or not, and you're supposed to stay there for 2 or 3 hours. That's not a happy, friendly place for a man. That's not something that most men are going to be excited about doing.
Well, a lot of these events, curated events, are held by women who make a certain amount of money, upwardly mobile, they're firmly ensconced in their careers, and they're looking for a partner or someone who's husband material. So they basically find a nice venue, make sure there's good food, and make the invitations and tell people to register and think the men are going to come. And on the surface, that looks like a nice little setup.
Nah. Think about it like this. Think about, and this is to everybody, think about the men in your life, or if you're a guy, think about the parties you do go to. Usually a man is happy at a party where he's got a bunch of friends that he already knows, or especially male friends who might bring a nice lady with them. He likes a party like that. Or a party that's like his birthday party, again, where he brings his friends, where he knows he's going to have a good time, and where he knows he can dip out if he wants to dip out. Some people don't like parties anyway. A lot of women don't understand that guys don't like everything girls like. Women like dressing up, they like parties, they like shiny things, they like music and fun and dancing.
Yay.
That's girls, that's normal girl stuff. Guys don't necessarily like that. So if you throw a big event where you say a bunch of men are going to come and they'll meet all of my lady friends, don't be surprised if hardly any men come or no men come, because that's not what men like. If you want to understand a man, get to know men, and then you'll know what they like and what kind of event that they're going to come to.
So what's the solution instead of your big, singles get together?
Okay, so instead of your big fancy singles get together, where a guy has to pay money to meet women he doesn't know and still get rejected anyway. Men use logic and they go, I don't think so. No, I'm not doing it. Okay, so instead of doing that, if you want to meet men, go to men you trust and say, hey, let's have an event where you bring a guy that you like, that you think might like me, or a guy you like that you think might like my friend Susan. You know, you have to curate it carefully so that it's a place that men are comfortable, that they're relaxed, where there's somebody there that they know, where they know that even if they don't meet a nice chick, they're still going to have a good time. And they can be friendly, have some good food, and then leave when they get ready. Men want to feel safe. A lot of people don't understand. There are times when men don't feel safe either. And a fancy curated event thrown by anonymous women that they don't know to a man does not necessarily feel like a safe space. Men need a safe space too. And they need a place where they can come in and then dip out if they don't want to be there. So think about what a man's needs might be, how he might feel, and plan an event around that. Also, if you as an individual woman want to meet a nice man, be nice yourself and ask somebody really cool if they know a guy that would be right for you. I've seen it work many times, and it does work.
And some of the same people that you disregard day to day are nice men that might be the person for you.
Yeah, meet a nice man and be nice to him. That's a surefire way to meet him.
And there you have it.
I think at the end of the day, this isn't really about one singles event. It's about a generation of men who grew up being told they weren't needed, being told they weren't valued, being told that they were the problem by default. And, you know, some of them said, okay, cool. And then they just started checking out. They just said, okay, I mean, you don't want to be here. I'm not going to be here. Yeah, you have some people that are upset about it. But a lot of men just got quiet. They said, okay, I mean, I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm going to stop showing up in spaces where I'm not welcome, where I need to be the laughing stock. And I'm just going to start choosing myself. I'm going to start doing me. Right. And, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, you can call men insecure. You can call them, you know, scared and weak and all that other nonsense. But it's time to start moving in a different direction and away from nonsense and stuff that keeps chaos and drama and foolishness in your life.